in Ecuador, Quito, Ecuador, 42 years ago. So I was 4 years old when I started the piano, and my first teacher was my grandmother. On my mother's side of the family, everybody's a musician, but nobody did music professionally. Everybody played by ear. So my uncle plays the guitar, the piano, my aunt plays the violin, my mother dances flamenco and plays the piano. I mean, everybody does something. So I grew up with music from a very, very early age. And when I was 4 is when my grandmother taught me, to play the piano with one finger. And those were my beginnings. After that, I went to the conservatory a few months later, and the rest was history. Yeah, so it's an interesting story because I entered the conservatory. I was not supposed to be registered at the conservatory, but I was auditing the conservatory, the pre-college with my sister, because we were always very close. And at the end of the year, the teacher told my mother, he doesn't need to repeat this course. He's actually quite talented. So they skipped me, classes, levels throughout the years, and at the age of 13, I finished whole pre-college. So then the director of the conservatory came to my mom and said, look, there's nothing else we can offer him. I think we should do a special program for him so that we can graduate him with his actual undergraduate degree. So my parents agreed to that, and I started my undergraduate Bachelor of Music in Piano Performance at the age of 13, along with high school. High school in Ecuador works a little different than the United States. In South America, or at least in Ecuador, we have 6 years of primary school and 6 years of high school. So at the age of 12 is when I started high school in Ecuador, and at the age of 13, Bachelor in the Conservatory of Music in Performance. So at the age of 18, I finished both. I finished my undergraduate in music, college, and my baccalaureate, my international baccalaureate in just regular high school. So that was a very interesting experience for me because from a very early age I was exposed to lots of activities, and I was very young for what I was doing. I mean, that's been the story of my life. At 13, I'm at 18 and I finished my bachelor's. At 20, I finished my master's. At 25, my doctorate. So I was always the youngest, I would say, or one of the youngest in all the activities. And when I was in Texas as assistant director, I'm fast forwarding quite a lot, I was the youngest of the directors, and it's been a really interesting ride. But all throughout my career, I've been very blessed that I, from very early on, had really good mentors, really good teachers, really good family. So my father very often would stop the car at night. I mean, I would leave home at 5 in the morning, come back at 8, 9 at night, throughout, English classes, piano classes, conservatory, high school, and so on. He would stop the car like 2 blocks before the home. And I looked at my dad and said, Dad, what are you doing? I said, well, I want to talk to you. I said, oh, what about? What did I do? He said, nothing. I just want to mentor you. I want to help you grow up because you are going to have to grow up faster than all of your friends. And I said, why? And he said to me, because I see leadership in you. You're going to be a leader one day, and you're going to be a young leader, and you're going to have to grow up faster than anybody else to be prepared. And you're not going to be here. You'll leave us when you grow up, and you're going to go somewhere, very likely the United States. He didn't know how because financially it was very difficult, but my parents knew. They have a vision of my future and never pushed me, by the way. It was something that God really always provided the light for them to see and for me to also follow. So, I got that mentorship and that preparation from very early age. So I was very lucky to have those parents that were very supportive, even when they didn't fully understand sometimes what music was about. I mean, I remember when I was 15 and I came to my parents and I said, Dad, Mom, I have good news. I know exactly what I want to do. And they said, honey, what is it? I want to be a concert pianist. I want to be a musician. They looked at me, I remember clearly. They said, sure, but what else are you going to do? What's going to be your real career? And I said, a pianist. They quite didn't get it. Yet they supported me. But as time went by and I kept winning competitions, I was invited, I was touring already. At the age of 15 was my first international tour. Then I remember age of 17 when they came to me and said, we get it. We understand now, we'll do whatever it takes to help you become who you want to be in the music field. It's a very interesting question. There have been many. There have been several. And I've been very blessed in many ways. A, because those mentors helped me be where I am. But B, They helped me discover my mission, which is now what I am also trying to do here in Omaha in the School of Music. Right? Because we know that in order to be successful and happy, it's not enough to be a good musician, a good player. That doesn't do it. Right? There's a number of factors that people need to be, who want to be successful in the field, need to be immersed in, exposed in. So those mentors not only help me get where I am, but also help me understand my purpose in life. So let me talk about a few of them. Obviously, my parents were huge mentors. I mean, my mother at the age of 15, it's a story that I've told many times. I was accepted to go to the Hamamatsu International Piano Competition in 1992. It was the second. I was a kid. I was only 16, 17. But there were only 5 Latin Americans who had been chosen for that. It's a very, very intense screening. And Japan paid for everything except for my air ticket. So my mom said, don't worry, honey, I'll take care of it. And after going through government, through others, everybody said, no, music's for you, for your kid. We don't get anything out of it. I was ready to quit. And I said, Mom, I don't have to go. And she said, no, honey, you're going to go. You just keep practicing. So she walked into the office of Continental Airlines at the time, CEO, and told the secretary, I'm here to see the CEO. The secretary said, and who are you? I'm his sister. Oh, yeah, please go ahead. You know where he is. But my mom had no clue. So she walked in the hallway of Continental Airlines office at headquarters in Quito, Ecuador, looking for a nice guy with or lady with a suit or something, a nice dress. Found one, a nice office, closed the door, and the guy went like that. And my mom said, please don't scream, I'm not here to kill you. So the guy relaxed, and then she started crying. Explained what she was trying to accomplish, and he said to her, not only I'm not going to pay for his ticket to Japan, I'm going to give him air tickets anywhere in the world he wants to perform as a pianist, as long as he's a student. And they did. Continental Airlines flew me worldwide for 6-7 years. At the time, I was a young kid thinking, wow, this is great, it was exciting. Years later, I realized what my mother had done. And that was the beginning of me understanding my mission, that I wanted to do the same for others. Fast forward, another mentor I had when I was on my undergraduate studies, my master's and my doctoral studies at the Peabody Institute was the dean of the School of Music, or the Conservatory of the Peabody Conservatory of Music. And he was the one that was responsible for me to have scholarship. And there at Peabody, at the time at least, there were 150 pianists roughly, and about a handful of those received full scholarship, meaning full tuition, room, board, everything, and friendship. And when I graduated from Peabody, I came to the dean of music, Steve Baxter, and I came to Steve and I said, Steve, I have no way to pay you back. I was in tears. I said, I have no way to pay you back what you've done for me, for giving me the opportunity to become better, and to do something with my life. And he patted me in the back and he said, Washington, there is something you can do for me. You can pay me back. And I said, tell me what it is and I'll do it. And he said, do the same for somebody else one day when I know you will be in a leadership position. And that was a mentor. I mean, he was like a second father to me throughout my studies, that mentored me. I mean, he worked with me on my resume, my cover letters. He gave me a scholarship. He renewed my scholarship. On the last 2 years of my doctoral program, he came to me and said, I'm going to treat you for tuition purposes as my son. I'm going to request the university to help you cover, because he was single. He didn't have a family. He brought down the world to me. And so when I graduated, he gave me that responsibility and legacy to do something for somebody else. I knew, again, with my mother, with him, where I needed to be and what I needed to be doing. That's another reason why I love the job that I have right now here in Omaha as director of School of Music, because it gives me the opportunity to do that. If somebody reaches that point when they say, I don't need a mentor, there's a problem. I think we can always find somebody that we look up to and seek mentorship in one or another way.